All right, good afternoon. Let's jump into 2.9, the final years of the Roman Republic. Keep in mind that you can spend your entire college career on ancient Rome and never learn everything. So, vocabulary terms for us, we got dictator, emboldened, pax romana, princeps, and triumvirate. Dictators or ruler in ancient Rome who was appointed by the Senate to reorder the government. Emboldened is made courageous. A pax romana is a time period of Roman peace. Princeps are the first citizens of the Roman Republic, and a triumvirate is a rule of three men. Julius Caesar is a person you need to know, a successful Roman military commander who played an important role in the transformation of the Roman Republic into an empire. So they used to vote for the leader, then Caesar became leader, and no more voting. It's just back to like a monarchy type of thing. Scrolling down to the bottom, you owe them 12 questions. No geography questions. A lot of text. So where you're going to read a bit, I'll see what I can review with you guys. Many of the Roman soldiers that fought to secure Rome's control were country farmers. They fought to increase the wealth of the patricians. They fought, as Polybus wrote, their country and their children. However, as simple soldiers, they gained little from the conquest. The goods and riches that were captured were given to the state or hoarded by commanders. With no resources to plant new crops or pay taxes, many of the former soldiers were forced to sell their land and look for jobs, not cool, although they were not very available. Slave labor was cheaper than hiring free men. The abundance of a slave people kept many former soldiers from getting a job. Without jobs and land to support themselves, they fell into poverty and began to look to the government for help. During the period of conquest, the Senate had grown in power. The interest of its wealthy land-owning members became interests of the Republic. These landless, jobless were largely ignored, realizing the impact that the situation could have on the Roman army. A wealthy plebeian tribune and a former military commander named Tiberius Gracchus, around 160 BC, proposed several land reforms. Particularly, he suggested that public lands be divided among the needy. However, much of the public lands were farmed by wealthy patricians and supplied them with a great amount of money. Tiberius' proposed reforms increased his popularity among the lower class. Fearful of Tiberius' growing power and influence, a group of senators had him killed. 10 years after his death in 123 BC, Tiberius' brother Gaius Tiberius was elected as a tribune. He tried to carry out his brother's efforts. However, while involved in a riot, he was killed along with thousands of his followers. This will lead to a civil war. The Gracchus brothers' death stirred the plebeians to violence. In order to deal with this social unrest and strengthen the army, the consul, Marius, reorganized the Roman army. He made military service a choice rather than a requirement. Those that enlisted were rewarded with land and shared in whatever booty spoils of war were captured. However, soldiers swore loyalty to their general, not to Rome. Kind of in the military today, you swear an allegiance to the US Constitution, not to the president. These reforms made Marius very popular and extremely powerful among the plebeians. When war broke out in Asia Minor in 88 BC, he was appointed. The plebeian council ignored the Senate's recommendation that Lucius Sulla be appointed top commander. Instead, they appointed Marius. Angered, Sulla marched his troops to Rome to oppose Marius and the plebeian council. The conflict between Marius and Sulla sparked a civil war. A dictator, no, where am I? Sullus was named master of the people or dictator of Rome. A dictator is someone, as mentioned up above, who has controlled Rome. The first triumvirate, Marius and Sulla set an example for other military leaders. If they want power, go and take it, essentially is what happens. In their own right, they won important military victories for Rome. However, they were not as popular as the people as Julius Caesar had in his own right. In 60 BC, three men entered a secret alliance, promising to use their positions to influence the benefits support the others. However, the triumvirate, these three people, did not last long. Emboldened, encouraged by his conquest of Gaul, Germany, France, Caesar returned to Italy and marched on Rome. He was named dictator for life in 45 BC. On March 15th, on the Ides of March, it is called, 44 BC, Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators, one of them being his best friend, Brutus. So there's another triumvirate, with Antony, Caesar's assistant, on Octavian, sorry, Mark Antony, Caesar's assistant, Octavian, and Caesar's grandnephew, Lepidus. In 43 BC, they were recognized as his triumvirate. And in 31 BC, at the Battle of Actium, Octavian defeated the allies of Antony and Cleopatra, one of the greatest love stories in history. Cleopatra was the last queen ruler of Egypt. After that, the Roman Empire had its ups and downs. They entered a period of peace, the Pax Romana, from 27 BC to 14 AD, but unfortunately, there's always periods of war. There were many Pax Romanas in Roman history, as seen here by Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. I like Marcus Aurelius. Here is the death of Caesar. He's stabbed by the people in the Senate, and then another map of the Roman Empire. All right. So 12 questions. Best of luck to you guys on this one. I'll be back with lesson 10 shortly.